and get ready. Get ready for the worst raw review on the internet. The worst raw review on the internet. Straws raw. With Eric B and Randy C. Chickens of bananas and fresh roast
on the computer.
This is Straws raw.
Hello, friends, listeners, and newcomers. It's me, Eric B. They call me the Raw Dog. And you're listening to the Straws Raw Review, the absolute worst or best, depending on where you search, Raw Review on the internet. Thanks for joining us, folks. We're here on the Hub Sports Entertainment Network, and I do say we, because with a little bit of a change of pace here, a little bit of a difference, folks. You're not going to hear me say that I'm being joined by the puppy in crime, but I'm being joined by one half of the Smack Daddies. It is Brad the Dad. Brad, thank you so much for joining me today, brother.
Hello, friends. And yes, thanks for having me. I was very excited to get the invite. I don't normally talk about Raw, but this is the Raw after the PLE. And so I watched it last night, so other people don't have to, as we're about to celebrate Canada Day. But we can't do this show without our sponsors. So, Eric, who is the show brought to you by?
Well, Brad, like we say always, the show is powered by somebody. And this week, it's powered by interiorplants.ca, the natural solution to a healthier and more beautiful environment. Go to interiorplants.ca for all of your interior plant needs. The King of Print, providing the best for your printing needs. www.kingofprint.ca is the official printing company of the Hub Sports Entertainment. Pure Fandom. Pure Fandom is your one-stop for pro wrestling and lucha libre memorabilia. Located in Toronto, Canada, you can find them on Instagram at Pure Fandom Shop. As well as the Smack Daddies, the East Coast podcast champions of the world. Join Brad and Greg every week as they break down SmackDown as happily as they possibly can. Well, maybe not Greg, but definitely Brad will be happy. The Dynamite Drop with Sean and Ashley. They watch Dynamite and review it, so I don't have to. Well, at least for now. It's also the summertime, so make sure you head over to A&K's Lick-A-Chick for the best tasting chicken on the island. Go and lick a chick today. As well as Boar's Head Roast Beef, because everybody likes a nice roast beef Sammy on late Friday nights. Brad, thanks for joining me, brother. Happy Canada Day. And we're going to talk about some Raw today, but usually what we like to do is talk about our weeks first. So, Brad, how was your week, brother?
It was an interesting week. So, washing machine packed it in. So that was it. That was the big thing of the week. So I went up to my parents' childhood home and watched wrestling in their home while I did my laundry. My parents are away, and so I'm taking care of the house and did some laundry, watched some wrestling. I'm sure that my neighbors were like wondering what the hell was going on because they're in a duplex. So we had that adjoining wall. And other than that, I spent hours outside this weekend playing Pokemon Go in the rain because it rained in Halifax all weekend. It didn't rain on Canada Day, which is a small miracle. It always rains on Canada Day. We usually get the fogs. The fireworks are delayed for a month. Eric, what have you been up to? I mean, I am the married man with the dad life. You must have had way more fun than I did this week.
It's the summertime. It is the summertime. And like I said, A&K's Lick-A-Chick is open and people are out in flocks and they're just loving life out there. There's a lot going on. Honestly, it's been nonstop. Lots of wrestling too. Lots of reviewing wrestling. Folks talking about that. You can check out me and Randy C's review of Night of Champions here on the Hub. That's there available for you to listen. Brad, Night of Champions, what was your one takeaway from it? What was your standout moment?
Oh, my standout moment was Cody and Randy and the seeds planted for whenever Cody gets the title back, the Cody-Randy feud, which is what I'm looking forward to the most probably is that because I don't want to see John Cena wrestle anymore. I love the guy, but boy, oh boy, his matches are not great at all anymore. And I love the guy, but it's dude, slow down. I have a question for you. As the gentleman with the luscious locks, did he get his hair filled in? Like, did he get some work done in the back?
Just a little. I think that the internet has successfully bullied him enough to do so at this point. And for Hollywood and everything, man, I think that that's the best way to go. That is absolutely the best way to go. But yeah, John Cena's matches are absolutely getting to the point of, let's say, bloodline formula, right? We have the John Cena formula that's coming in. But there are some, like you said, there's some seeds being planted as well in that storyline as well, where John Cena might be listening to the crowd a little bit more and starting to, maybe be a little bit more of a good, bad guy, whatever you want to call him. He's on the fringe. And yeah, I thought it was a pretty good PLE. And also to be finished at 6 o'clock on a Saturday night in the summertime when it wasn't raining here in Ontario, at least on that day. It wasn't. I think it wasn't. Yeah, it was a pretty good day. It was a pretty good day. I cannot complain, my friend. Cannot complain.
Afternoon of Champions was a good PLE overall. And I've been calling it that ever since Greg coined the phrase last week on the SmackDaddies. I was like, it is the Afternoon of Champions.
He absolutely killed it. It also was the night of black leather. If you are a fan of ladies in black leather, it is a show for you to watch right away. Like, go out there. It's on Netflix and it's PG. So you can watch it with your family and get away with it.
The scandal happened during the post show because Rhea Ripley shows live on set with short sleeves. We saw her elbows in Saudi Arabia.
Oh no. Elbows exposed, ankles all over the place. And then when Scarlett arrived too, I was like, that's very borderline. Like, she was wearing a see-through top. And I was like, this is very close. We are very, very close here to creating problems. Not about everything else going on in the world, but just Scarlett's breasts being exposed. Anyways, talking about exposed breasts, should we talk about this week of Monday Night Raw?
Yes, when the ladies turned back into their normal wardrobes and life moved on. It was a great, I'll tell you, I have been watching Raw, and the only reason that SmackDown will now be superior from this point forward is that we are under 2 hours, where are 2 hours and something.
We're on a fringe. We don't know every single week. And you know what? Sometimes it's great. Sometimes it is great to get that 2 hour, 15-minute episode and then just be like, oh, surprise, extra time to do other stuff. But with that being said, let's get into this week's episode from the PPG Paints Arena in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, the home of the Pittsburgh Steelers. We are joined on commentary by Michael Cole and Corey Graves. I don't know about you, Brad, but this is just like a weird pairing for these guys for me now. They've been so separate recently, and then also with Joe T as well being there at SmackDown. There's just a clash that I'm not enjoying about these two on commentary. What do you think? Are you getting the same vibe?
You can't have Wade Barrett back, because that's the best pairing. If you can't have Pat McAfee, Wade, and I think that's the best pairing. But we definitely can't have Corey and Joe Tessitore, because I have no idea what would happen there. They sound the same.
Yeah, also, if you had Joe T and Michael Cole, that would be very borderline as well, right? We'd be very, very much there. Anyways, we're going to get a quick recap of Night of Champions. We're about a month away from SummerSlam. We are literally Saturday 1 week from Saturday night's main event, and then Sunday 1 week away from Evolution. So WWE is just ramming content down our throat here for the next month. Like, absolutely just being stacked with nonstop goodness for us to enjoy as wrestling fans, and especially if you subscribe to Netflix. Subscribe to Netflix, folks. Do it immediately. You get as much wrestling as you can possibly handle. And we're going to start the show with Rhea Ripley because, Brad, as soon as we lost Little Liv Morgan, it no longer became Liv Morgan's show. We need somebody else there, and Rhea Ripley is definitely the mommy to hold the torch going forward.
Well, she said mommy's on top, and that is the only way for this show to survive in the post-Liv era, or the liveless era.
Yeah. Liveless era. One of our favorite listeners, Rob Arbic, is absolutely happy about that. And he shouldn't be. You're happy for the wrong reasons, sir. The wrong reasons. But I do stand with you, Rob Arbic, in your enjoyment of Coke Zero. I'm just going to throw that out there. I know Randy wanted me to test Coke Zero live on the air, and I just can't do that to my brand, my lifeblood, and my soulmate, truly.
I now I
Anyways.
want a Coke Zero right now, but they're not within reaching distance, so there shall be no Coke Zero. Randy, this is a pro Coke Zero show for today.
We are not powered by Coke Zero, but by all means, we are happy to accept as many samples that come our way. We are good to go with that Coca-Cola company. All right. Like I said, Evolution is coming forward as well really fast, and Rhea Ripley wants that title back. The only thing that's standing in her way is Io Sky. And Io Sky is definitely ready to fight the best. She wants Rhea Ripley.
I'm gonna need a bingo. I'm gonna need a chart for the next month. It's like, is this a SummerSlam match? Is this an Evolution match? Where does this fit on the chart?
The same thing, honestly, the same thing happened with Randy when we were talking about Night of Champions and breaking it down before it happened, the preview, because he was like, oh, Goldberg Gunther. And I was like, no, man, like that is Saturday night's main event. And we keep on, like you said, it's going to be confusing to follow some of these things because we are working on so many different storylines in the same time to make it happen. And at least 4 or 5 of those storylines in the women's division were scrapped as soon as Liv Morgan got injured. So here we are.
And we end up with the fact that the roster is so deep that they can pull this off, that they can literally have all of these other things going on at the same time. And kudos to WWE for keeping it straight. But I do need occasionally just some charts, some line graphs, something.
Yeah, I mean, we have brackets. We can throw up a little bracket every now and then, or just like even a ticker on the bottom of the screen. You know, this will be happening here. This will be happening there. That'll be good. Anyways, in the back, Dominic Mysterio, the de facto leader of the Judgment Day currently, really. Well, he has the most important title in the group at the time. He is trying to give them a pep talk, and here comes AJ Styles, who wants to take out his punk ass. You know, and that's going to happen. So eventually we're going to get that match between AJ and Dom for the IC title. You give that win to Dominic, and that's a huge win for Dominic in his career, and definitely silences a lot of the naysayers that he can't get these big, massive wins outside of PLEs.
AJ needs to not wear his glasses on air, though, ever again. Because we forget how old AJ is. And then you put those glasses on, I'm like, oh, dude, you were damn near 50.
Grandpa AJ coming there, definitely some Metamucil in hand, and he is ready to go. He's got an Ensure, and he's looking jacked, though. He is absolutely looking jacked, so I'm not saying nothing. He'd still beat me up in
everything.
I don't know.
Everything in life.
Yeah, everything in life. Thumb wars, basketball games. I heard he's a great basketball player. I know, not really.
Definitely no video games against him. I am never playing video games against AJ Styles. Maybe some new Mario Kart. My Mario Kart world skills are on point right now, but other than that, nope.
There you go. Getting ahead of the trends there. There we go. And we are moving forward. The first match of the night is the New Day, the tag team champions versus the Judgment Day. The New Day have been gatekeeping those titles from the Judgment Day the best that they possibly can. They've been trying to throw as many bombs in their direction as possible in the forms of other tag teams, Vikings, Raiders, War, or whatever you want to call them. Everybody, you've got the Creeds, everybody has been thrown at them to try to slow them down, and it just hasn't been able to do so. Really, Brad, when you're looking at this match itself, it is a great match, but I think that we need to focus a little bit more on the title reign of the New Day and all of the hype that was put into their heel turn and where WWE failed ultimately with this heel turn, with this title reign to make it something that was of impact. If you ask me, I think it has a lot to do with the fact that most of the New Day segments have been during these commercial break times. And if you do not have premium Netflix, which, for example, Randy doesn't, you're going to see ads during this time. And you're going to see a lot of ads. But you have not seen the New Day set up their next feud at all. So what do you think? What are your thoughts?
I think the biggest problem has been your depth on this side of the roster in the tag division. It's like Judgment Day, New Day, Viking Raiders. It's like, who else is left?
Sami Zayn and Penta.
Yeah, don't even get me started on that one. It's not even again. It's why don't you have Ray Phoenix on the show? You can have Ray Phoenix just so Penta has somebody to play with, because you have the best tag team in the world, arguably, at least top 5, and they're not on the same brand, and they're teaming with other people.
Andrade and Ray Phoenix getting pushed right now is definitely something. But yeah, the depth of the tag division hasn't been there for the male side. For the females in WWE, the female division is just absolutely stacked. They can go in so many different directions with even created tag teams that are far better than most of what we see on the male roster here, right? Anyways, match itself, like I said, it's not that it's a bad match, because anything where we see the Judgment Day in is really, really good. And then the New Day itself, they also are the champs for the reason, and they move very well. They're your totem pole when it comes to anybody that's coming in. So this title reign for them has been a little bit mid and lackluster. So to move the title onto the Judgment Day going forward, and to make the Judgment Day as strong as they are, by finishing it off here, finishing off the title reign of the New Day with a coup de grace, as I like to call it around here at Draw Straws, for the win. And we move it back to the Judgment Day, who now controls the brand more or less. Very, very close.
Every member of the Judgment Day, minus the injured Liv Morgan, has a title. They can cheers their titles, which they will do later. And in honor of filling in for Andy, I'm going to give you some banana scales. I love a banana, not as much as Randy does, but this was definitely a 3.5 bananas. That's 3.5 bananas. As I try to hit the cheer button.
And there we are, folks. So we got our banana ratings back. Randy's going to love it when he hears it, as much as he loved it when he saw Lyra Valkyria costing Bayley the women's intercontinental title last week. Bayley isn't very happy about that, nor should she be. Lyra Valkyria is ready. They're going to have a match tonight. It is announced. It is official. Adam Pearce makes it happen. We're going to get a quick video package on Goldberg. And yeah, that's it. We're going to look back at Penta very calmly speaking to Chad Gable before he broke his arm. That was the best thing ever. When Penta turned to Chad Gable and said, "Chad, come on, man, stop, relax, just relax," and then turned and broke his arm right away. It was like, that is a serious scale to jump from one side of being very calm to just breaking arms, right?
Snap.
Just snap, crackle, pop. That was a moment where we could have very easily had Corey Graves say, "Did you hear the snap?" Slim Jim, come on, guys. It's not only tables. We can do it anywhere.
Yeah, there wasn't even a Slim Jim table on this episode. Where was the snap into a Slim Jim segment for here? Shit. Do they have to give money back to Slim Jim?
Do you also love the fact that in Riyadh, they were like, we're not having any Slim Jim tables on our product. It's not allowed. The prince was like, here is an extra 10 million. No Slim Jims tonight.
Well, they're not halal, so that's it. They're just not halal, so they cannot be promoted. Why promote them in Saudi Arabia? They're not halal.
That's the best. Actually, I gotta say, I know going off topic, but I did like the fact that in Riyadh, we had like a very nice clean ring, and it was just the Riyadh season logo in the middle, which still exists in the ring now on Raw, but we had to find a way to get ads in there somehow, and this is the way that we're doing it. So it's okay. I'm not complaining about it. It's the future, folks. It's the way it is. All right. Well, Chad Gable, like we said, his arm is all messed up, so he's in a sling, and we're not going to see him for a little while. Man's injured. What does this mean for El Grande Americano? I guess we're going to find out. I guess we'll find out later. Anyways, Judgment Day is now meeting with Nick Aldis and Adam Pearce. Nick Aldis is here from SmackDown, just like we have Brad from the SmackDaddies today. And they're talking about some solutions moving into Evolution. There is going to be a fatal four-way match for the women's tag team titles. We have the current champion, Raquel, and now Roxanne, who will be stepping in with the idea of Finn Balor, his plan finally working. One tag team from Raw, one tag team from SmackDown, and one from NXT. Brad, this Evolution card is getting more and more stacked by the moment, and WWE definitely has a chance to do something super special here, with as many rumors being thrown around right now that even Trish Stratus might appear.
Finn Balor was the one that came up with this idea. And it's like, why is he not the GM then? What have you guys been doing for 2 weeks? How have you not come up with this? You had 2 flights to Saudi Arabia, one there and one back. You guys couldn't talk on the plane and figure this out. So, fellas, I'm looking forward to it because there isn't, the joke is there's no women's tag teams, but there are lots of women tag teams that are just not featured. We have BFAB and Michin, so that's probably going to be our representative. You guys are probably going to get Natty and Maxine. I would guess that be your representative.
The Dungeon Dolls.
And I'm not sure who we're going to get from NXT. I would have said Jakara Jackson and her partner, but we released that partner went bye-bye. So
what about someone like Carmen Petrovich and Tia Hill? Right.
There you go.
Like you've got randoms that you can throw in that haven't been seen on the main roster. This is your opportunity to do it. All right. This is your absolute opportunity to do it. It's an all women card. And the crazy thing, Brad, is if you let NXT's roster take over this Evolution card, they would probably outshine the majority of the main roster of talent. So you can throw in so many people from NXT. It's just going to be a really good show, even without Liv being there. It's going to be a great, great, great PLE.
The depth on the women's roster in WWE is something else right now. So we could have all kinds of matches. But even the depth in the men's roster is really good, as we're about to head into Sheamus and Rusev.
The match that should have happened first. This should have been the introduction match for Rusev. This should have been the return. There shouldn't have been any, I'm going to destroy Tozawa, I'm going to be paced with Otis. That should not have happened. This match, even though the timing is very strange, the way that it happened afterwards, after a 4-way match where these two were already featured in, it was a nice fight. And this is the best way that I can possibly put it. These two know each other very well, and they absolutely slapped the Jesus out of each other for this entire match. A very sweaty Sheamus at one point in the corner where Rusev is just, I think, trying to get him going. I really think he's just continuously trying to get him either to crack in the match or to just freak the heck out on him. But he is throwing just slaps to the face. Like, come on, let's go. Wake up, buddy. They are just beating the absolute crud out of each other. And Sheamus doesn't look weak at all in this match either. He gets beat down by Rusev, but he is also slugging it out himself in the match, looking strong in the process. Lots of super kicks, lots of smashes happening in this match, and beats of the Bodrum we are accustomed to seeing with our friend Sheamus. The accolade gets put onto Sheamus, but somehow he fights himself out. Exposed turnbuckle is somehow presented, and then a sternum bump happens with it. And that leads to the Machka kick, which is the finish here for Rusev. These guys got a long time to work with. And also, with a weapon being used, why wasn't there any disqualification? Anyways, Brad,
who cares?
Thoughts of the match?
It's a 4 bananas out of 10 experience for this. I'm going to give it 4.
They absolutely beat the crap out of each other, which I did thoroughly enjoy. I must say that. I feel like, like I said,
you love the meat match? I am shocked.
A nice meat.
Yeah, the man who likes the roast beef likes a meat match.
Couple of big chunks of beef just chopping away at each other. This whole match looked nice. And like I said, this needed to happen for Rusev first for him to be taken seriously, because he actually looks kind of threatening, even though he does kiss Sheamus after the match, which I think Sheamus was not expecting. Just again, there was a lot happening in this match. And if you go back and watch it, Brad, I think he's trying to get him to corpse. I think he's trying to get him to laugh in a lot of the points of the match. And it just doesn't work, because we know that Rusev has that type of personality too in real life.
We get a big announcement here, brother, because this is my favorite part of this was we got stakes to a match. What a novel concept.
Yeah. honestly, Nick Aldis and Adam Pearce now announce another match for Evolution, which will be the Evolution Battle Royal. The winner will get a title shot in Paris. Not only are we throwing in all of these fun matches, but when they actually, like you said, when they have stakes, when they mean something, again, like the King and the Queen of the Ring getting title shots, like, and, world champion shots. They actually mean something and makes it intense. And you have so many different people you can work into this battle royal now. It just, let's face it, it's probably where we're going to see Nikki Bella thrown in now, right? It's probably where we'll see Trish Stratus, maybe Alita, and lots of the NXT roster. So there's a lot of chances for introductions and a lot of chances for nostalgia pops here.
You forgot the odds-on favorite for this match, Mrs. Undertaker, Michelle McCool.
With the Undertaker podcast on. By the way, folks, WWE, in case you didn't realize, now has 3 or 4 different podcasts at any given moment for you to watch, and they are all the top of the list somehow. I wonder why. But yeah, no, lots of good products coming out. The Cody and Kevin Owens one was a really good talk, really fun for us to listen to as fans, and I want to see more of it. I need more of it. All right. Ivy Nile is ready for the Battle Royal, I guess. She's here. Folks, she's still on the roster. She's talented. I'm not going to say anything more about it. She just needs some work with the character. El Grande Americano somehow walks up and poses, looking like $1,000,000, looking like he's somehow evolved. And we're talking like Pokemon here. He just evolved from the starter to the mid-level. He went from Charmander to Charmeleon. I think that can happen in wrestling. Anyways, the guy is back. He never left. El Grande Americano.
The rumors that he had injured his arm or his shoulder were greatly exaggerated. And here he is ready for, I think he's going to fit right perfectly into the American Made. He can be the new muscle for American Made.
You got it. Yep, absolutely. Karrion Kross is in the back also watching Sami Zayn, and he jumps him, beats him with a lead pipe, just wants him to say that Kross is right. That's it. Everything Kross is doing right now on the screen, even though they're just giving him really 30 seconds of airtime here, is getting a massive reaction from the crowd. We got nothing for him this week besides this.
Except the fact that I'm afraid he's going to get the Zack Ryder treatment, where he's going to get himself so over on his own that WWE's going to be like, you got yourself over. We'll show you.
Yeah, no, it's a good point. I mean, they don't like it. They don't like it when we change. The talent changes the storylines by getting themselves over, and we have to go with it. But listen, if it makes it's just kind of weird how we react, they react that way when it's guys like Karrion Kross. Because when it was We Want Cody, they eventually changed everything to make sure everybody got what they wanted. And now people have wanted Kross for months, and it seems like the reason why, it seems like the reason why we got him on a PLE match, the first time that we've seen him on a PLE in years, is because of an injury.
And he should have been on. He's earned his way for a long time. I know people complain about his work. I don't think his work's bad. I just think he could be, I heard somebody else say it. I think it was John Away in one of their reviews. The second best review of the PLE, because yours was the best by far. They talked about Jake the Snake Roberts. He could be a Jake the Snake Roberts type character.
That's what I said too. Yeah. That's your type. Honestly, that is your typecast. That is who you should be aiming for right now. And that's what he's trying to do. And even egging Sammy into the match, and the reaction of, you got him, was just like the best one, right? So anyways, I think the character is great. There's a lot for him there. And I think he also proved in his match there in Saudi Arabia that he is willing to take bumps, and he is willing to work, and he's willing to do all of these things. So I think it dispelled a lot of those conversations on the internet. Anyways, talking about conversations, here comes Gunther for a chat. He is ready. He doesn't know who's going to be next after Goldberg, but I guess we're going to find out as soon as he says it, right? Yes. There's about 5 seconds pause. And here comes the music. It is Seth freaking Rollins with a very basic looking briefcase. As far as briefcase goes, from cash in like fun, customized briefcases go. This one definitely ranks somewhere below the leather briefcase that Damian Sandow used, in my opinion.
This is down there at the one banana level. This briefcase gets quality.
Yeah, just a black and gold briefcase with a Seth Rollins logo. No boombox, no lunchbox, nothing fun at all. No personalization, no senior money in the bank. I mean, it's very basic, gold standard. I guess that's the character that this Seth Rollins is going for. But anyways, Seth Rollins, listen, he is just there to gloat about his successes of preventing CM Punk from winning the world title. That's not what he was there to do. But he is going to go ahead and he's going to take credit for it. Like that was what he was there for in the first place. He wants Gunther's belt. Man, I'm really hoping that anything that we're hearing right now about Goldberg maybe winning and then Seth cashing in is not the way it happens. Just, it doesn't have to happen that way. We don't need to give Goldberg even 15 seconds of a title reign in 2025. I think that will be okay. That's when Bret Hart is going to step in the ring and make sure it doesn't happen.
You joke, but that would be the ultimate payoff, is that Goldberg has him down. He's about to go for the spear. And all of a sudden, Bret Hart appears out of nowhere, crawls from underneath the ring and just grabs his foot. And Gunther attacks him and takes him out. And it's like, and Gunther chokes him out. And it's like Bret Hart helps. And that's it. Then I think even Bret might bury the hatchet with Goldberg if he agreed to that stipulation. I think Bret may. Then we can get the hug after the cameras go off. Goldberg and Bret can hug in the ring and they can bury the beef.
I think that at this point in his life, the greatest thing that Bret would do as far as reaction wise, as far as what he can do ring work wise, would maybe be an ankle grab. Maybe be an ankle grab on the ring. That's probably as far as he can go. There's no crawling out from under that ring now, brother. And we love Bret Hart around here. Happy Canada Day, everybody.
We love him. I'm wearing a Bret Hart t-shirt today. I think it would be, but I'm just pitching ideas because I think this would be great. Bret can come down in a hoodie. He can sit there like he's some sort of like extra. He's playing with do something.
It's Saturday night's main event. It's Saturday night's main event. If Bret is available in any capacity, even if it could be for a walkout, that would be huge. That would be absolutely epic. And we haven't seen Bret for a little while. We love Bret, man. We want to see him on the screen more often. And when you're talking about the guys that they're throwing out during Saturday night main event as like your legends, if you could have Bret Hart there, come on, man. That is the way to go.
Bret Hart walks out to his music. It distracts Goldberg, and then Goldberg gets choked out. It writes itself. I love it. Bret Hart run in, a Bret Hart limp in would be fine at this point.
He doesn't even need to do it. You're right. The music hits. He just needs to stand at the top, do his signature pose, be wearing the jacket, just wear the jacket itself. And oh man, talk about nostalgic pop. Anyways, we've ranted about that more than enough here, but we are absolutely excited about it, I guess. CM Punk is going to run in because here comes his music. Seth Rollins is going to let out an audible swear word as he does so, which is the best. And here comes CM Punk for the beatdown. He also doesn't respect Gunther, so he shoves him down too. Rollins, being the coward that he is, runs into the crowd. And surprise, surprise, here comes LA Knight from behind. And they start a fight in the concourse. We got Coors Lights and popcorn fights going on all over the place, brother. It is wild. But yeah, LA Knight rumored to be coming to Monday Night Raw. Who knows if we're going to have him here just setting up this match for Saturday night's main event between Seth and him. Or who knows? Maybe he might be a mainstay.
I think this is a great way to take Seth out so that he cannot cash in that night. There's no chance that he can cash in on Goldberg, so that when Goldberg wins the title, he can hold it for like 6 months.
This is the way to go. Nostalgia. The older the champions get, the better, folks, in 2025.
Well,
John Cena and Goldberg. Just imagine.
Well, and then that sets up the perfect thing. One more last match, and Ric Flair can take the title off of Goldberg.
Ric Flair comes into the ring, covering that nasty new scar. Woo.
He does it.
Man.
He puts the figure 4 on. That's all he has to do. Bret Hart trips Goldberg. He puts the figure 4 on, and Bret and Ric Flair celebrate in the ring together. Ric Flair is the 18-time world champion, and he challenges John Cena, and that can be there. And then John Cena can beat Ric Flair, and there you go. Best match. I am booking the official seniors division for WWE.
Main event of WrestleMania next year. John Cena pushes it further. He says, nope, I lied. I'm going to ruin wrestling. I have more than 15 appearances left in me, and it's going to be against Ric Flair. Ric Flair, stitches or not, he's making his way into the ring for that last match, folks. The last time. Okay. Judgment Day is in the back. They're very happy with their new titles, as they should be. All of that gold, I mean, I'd be happy then with it too. Gold is at a higher price than it's ever been. So I would be very happy to have all of them straps on me, folks. But Roxanne is replacing Liv. And you know what? Raquel is just not that happy about it. But she doesn't really have much of a choice. Ultimately, this is the direction that we always knew they were going to go in. And keeping the belts on Raquel and now with Roxanne, the Judgment Day is ultimately your smartest decision that you can go with a tag team division for the females that really doesn't have that many real teams. So your best team needs to hold the belt, and they are the best team.
And it makes a cool visual for the time being that you have a faction with all the titles, and this could lead to the greatest ending of all time. There could be one PLE where all the titles leave the Judgment Day, because that's what needs to happen now.
Yeah, it will eventually. It's going to happen. Who knows what's going to happen when Liv comes back? If it's going to happen before then, I mean, it only makes sense that one of those belts should be taken off before then, but we will see. We will see. Kairi Sane gets a video package, the video package of the week for her to remind us all she's a pirate. And we need more pirates in wrestling.
And she takes out her opponents who end up on the injured reserve.
Lyra Valkyria versus Bayley is next. This is for a future shot at Becky Lynch. Lyra Valkyria, honestly, they are doing everything that they possibly can do to push her, and she is having better matches and better matches. But there are still moments in her matches where you just wish that she would slow down just a tad. And the point that I have to make is when she grabs Bayley and she picks her up for almost what looks like is going to be like a package pile driver, but just converts it last second to a power bomb, very high stacked on the back of the neck. And it is just a bit of a scary moment, I think, for everybody in the arena watching too. So Lyra, they're doing what they can to make her look stronger and stronger. The crowd really still isn't resonating with her. I think they were resonating the best with her character in her, anger with Becky Lynch. With Bayley and stuff, maybe it's not connecting that well. Anyways, end of the match, you can definitely tell the crowd even is a little bit confused. Both go for their finisher attempts. They're both blocked and put into an exchange of roll-ups, which eventually leads to a double pin draw. WWE rarely goes in this direction. And I think one of the main reasons why is just because how surprised and confused the crowd was when it ended.
Because the referee had to say it. They had to turn up the live mic at the ringside and say, it was a double pin. There's no winner. The match is a draw. Just like you guys, a draw. So, and it'll lead to a three-way. That's just how we're getting people onto the card. And if they really want to make Lyra, she beats both Becky and Bayley at the PLE.
Yeah, at Evolution. Yeah, Evolution is coming up, folks. So that's what it's for. That's what's happening. They're going to have a fight into the crowd. There's feathers everywhere. It's out of control. Folks, watch your step as your way out of the arena. You don't want to slip on any. Okay. CM Punk is in the back, and he's unhappy because, look, he wants Seth Rollins first, but LA Knight reminds him, just, he doesn't have to step in line. He is the line. He's got his fight against Seth Rollins on Saturday night's main event, and that's where we're going, the direction we're going in. Yeah. Seth Rollins and LA Knight. I'd like to say that LA Knight is very much that nostalgic styled character, right? I think that when you think about the two of them, LA Knight definitely fits immediately into the 80s, right? Does Seth Rollins fit into that Saturday night's main event kind of 80s-ish vibe?
If he wore more pink,
True.
as he has the same amount of liquid in his hair as Bret used to back in the day.
Lots of gel. Lots of gel. Actually, I don't know, man. Can you just think about it? If it was actual hair gel, those eyes would have been burning by the end of the match, brother. But they did what they had to do for us to believe that they were really, really cool. And never once have we questioned, right? Even as children, we never questioned, why is their hair so wet? Why?
Because DeSante is the other unofficial sponsor of WWE.
There you go. DeSante. New logo is coming onto the ring immediately. Maybe onto the chairs. You never know. The chairs need something. We need something on the chairs. All right, folks. Moving our way to the main event. Penta just wants to make sure that his best friend, Sami Zayn, is ready. If Sami Zayn is still game. Hey, Sami, you ready for this?
And
poor Pat. Penta, for some reason, talks worse than he did in AEW.
And then Sami doesn't want to answer. He just gives him the 0 Miro, which is like, okay, so are you two both going to do this throughout this match? Is Randy somewhere? That's why Randy can't join us today. He has broken his computer. He has lost his mind because there were so many 0 Miros.
Oh, my Lord. The craziness amount of 0 Mieros. And then also, when you think about Sami Zayn being more or less just relegated to like a partner here for the fun of Penta, he does his pose. It's not like Penta comes out to the ring doing the Sami Zayn dance or anything. He is just emulating Penta the entire time. So they are really doing their best to remind us this guy is a star. And don't get me wrong, man, everything, and Randy will say it too every single week, everything that they do to present Penta makes him look like a star. His entrance, his gear, all of his merchandise that they're pumping out, they're doing everything they possibly can to let us know, like, this is our next guy. But I just don't know. I don't know, honestly.
If we were going to push one of the two Lucha Brothers, why is it not Phoenix? Like, Phoenix is the better wrestler of the two, and I still am baffled. Why are you keeping these brothers apart? Because these guys together are a better package. And if you want, it's also the WWE formula. How do you make a WWE star? You put them in a tag team and then have them turn on their brother.
Well, honestly, here's the thing too, right? They could be together, but also separate. Penta could go for a singles title at the same time that they try to go for the tag titles, right? It only makes them more of a credible threat to do so. Throwing out names again, Bret and Owen did this all the time. Bret always was the singles guy, and then maybe he would have somebody along with him from Hart Foundation, Owen, and then eventually Owen turns on him, kicks his leg out from underneath his leg. What a great thing for us to talk about on Canada Day. Canadian brothers fighting. It's wonderful.
It is. But it could be worse. We could be talking about Penta's crip walk and his, like, he is. I really was afraid though that Penta and Sami were somehow going to win this match, despite the fact that Sami's ribs are broken. Because it's like you have Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed come out to their mashup. Eric, this took way longer than I thought it was going to. I figured pretty much 2 weeks after they got together, this was going to be what was going to happen. They're going to take the two themes and literally, I just think they just took the two tracks and just layered them.
They did, but it's not nearly as bad as when they did it with Booker T and RVD, where they just threw out, can you dig it, sucker? Like randomly, and then, what I can't. So it's not nearly as bad as that, but it is bad. And these guys need a theme, and they need a name like a long time ago. So we are at a point where Saturday night's main event, let's maybe start calling them something. Because just like the Brons isn't working for me. Bronny and Bron. Just doesn't really work for me that much.
They hinted to something already. They could be Jurassic Park. They can license the name. They can be Jurassic Park. One can be the speedy little raptor that strikes with ferocity, and the other one can be the big meaty dinosaur that tackles and smashes. I mean, they made poor Bronson Reed do the ad read for Jurassic Park. I'm like, this is a fat joke. Poor kid, poor guy.
And they showed him too, like he was revealing like a giant dinosaur. And I think that you even heard like a T-Rex sound in the background. Yeah, no, he's on screen looking like a woolly mammoth during that entire promo. But they are doing honestly, man, WWE is just killing it recently with cross promoting. When you think about Bailey being at the NHL draft, for example, things like that, it's just crazy. Really, it's all over the place. It's in our faces as much as it possibly can be.
Well, okay. Hold on. Sean and Ashley are going to have one of the great crossovers so far. Have you been seeing the pictures? The Superman crossover for Dynamite this week. Sean and Ashley, the Dynamite drop. I expect some in-depth coverage of how awesome it was that get your DC fix over there.
There's a lot going on. Honestly, we don't usually talk about AEW, but when I'm reading reports that the Rizzler has been training in ring and is going to be involved like in a large spot at All In. I want to see Rizzler thrown through a table. I want to see Mox light him on fire. I mean, you never know. Anything can happen. Anyways, we've given them enough rub. But yes, go listen to Sean and Ashley every single week as they talk about Dynamite. So I don't have to. Really. That's my favorite part about it. But the least favorite part of Bron and Bronson's day is Penta and Sammy. So they want to stop it. They want to solve the problem today. This stops now. And will it stop today? Maybe. You never know. The big dinosaurs themselves. Now I've just got it in my head. Now I want to see them in dinosaur cosplay come into the ring. I want to see a dinosaur head instead of a wolf head on Bron Breakker. I want to see all of it. I want all of it.
And Paul's going to come out dressed like Fred Flintstone.
No, he comes out as the doctor. He looks perfect, man. He's just way to go. Okay. All right. Let's move forward.
I spliced the DNA together and I'm ready to go. These are the monsters I brought back to life from the 80s. He's resurrected Typhoon and Earthquake. Even though Typhoon's not dead.
Well, I mean, some 90s. No, he's still around. Anyways, okay. Going forward with the match itself, Bron Breakker, the Bron boys are coming out to fight the best friends, Penta and Sammy, a.k.a. Penta and Penta Jr. Like you said, there's a lot of Zero Miedos happening at the point where Randy is definitely freaking out, where we see a double crip walk attempt here before we have Arabian moonsaults outside of the ring. Oh my Lord. Sammy just doesn't hit it as well as Penta. But again, by making him do all of Penta's stuff, it's just showing you like Sammy is lesser than Penta. It's kind of like people emulating Hulk Hogan in the ring, right? Like or doing the Bret Hart pose or all of these kind of things, or even Shawn Michaels or anything, right? It's like you're emulating this guy, which means like he's kind of like better than you a little bit.
Next week, Sammy comes out in a hood and he'll wear Penta's mask to the ring. And then slowly but surely he'll start dressing like Penta, and he'll just eventually Sammy's just, there's Penta and then there's Sama or whatever we're going to come up with Penta's combining Sammy's name.
Samagon.
He could be Penta Jr.
It's true. He could wear the mask. They had an opportunity to do this here. They'd had the opportunity. But anyways, Bron Breakker moves around in the ring like, I don't know, a boulder who's just been struck by lightning, flying around like a friggin' maniac. It's insane. I do want to shout out Sammy to the point of the match where we see Bron hit the ropes a couple times. Looks like he's about to smash him with a spear. And Sammy just raises the boot. And I love it. I love that spot. It's just so smart. He saw it coming. It's like now 3 times that he's been hit with that super spear. So he saw it coming and he knew how to counter it. I like it. I likes it a lot. I also like Braun Breaker always throwing out his spot of clotheslining the guy over the announcer's table. That is always there. We're also going to see the sacrifice in the match, folks. But for whatever reason, mid-match sacrifices, arm breaks, they don't injure. They'd never injure. Post-match or outside of the ring sacrifices, there's always a sling involved afterwards. A sling is there. Anyways,
You're not warmed up. That's why, Eric.
you're not loose.
You're not loose.
Gotta get loose. You gotta get loose, oos.
The ending to this was a little bit loose.
A little bit loose, oos. Yeah, it was. The ending was definitely all over the place. Definitely all over the place. Like I said, at that point, there is the super spear that is cut off by a kick to the face. Reed just makes it in time to make the save here. Penta and Breaker go to the floor, and Zayn suplexes Bronson Reed, only to get speared by Breaker for the pin. Like Brad said at the start of the match, these guys had to win. There was no way that Penta and Sami Zayn needed to win this match, especially when we're trying to push forward the threat of this quote unquote dangerous alliance. Post match, Sami Zayn's broken ribs, man. Why'd you get in the ring? Why did you get in the ring? He's about to get Mead. It's going to happen. Or is it? No, because here comes Mr. Usi himself, Jey Uso, making his way to the ring with a chair in hand, throwing that chair all over the place, including a baseball toss directly to the face of Bronson Reed. And that's the show, folks. That is the show. We have the quote-unquote dangerous alliance looking strong in victory. But Jey Uso is still here. The crowd still gets an opportunity to yeet, and everybody gets a chance to go home happy.
What about the crowd getting an opportunity to eat? Brad got an opportunity to eat. I don't get eats on Friday. So we got a yeet fest here. And just for that, I am going to give this match a 3.5. That's 3.5 out of 10. And I can't make the sound work again. So it's like, whatever. I'm going to give it a...
There you go. Brad, what was, speaking about that actually, as far as like the guys that you're not used to seeing or not used to reviewing is really the best way that I can put it. Watching in depth, who was like your one guy that you watched tonight that you would love to take to the SmackDown review every week?
Bron Breakker. It's not even I don't even need a hesitation. Bron Breakker is the future of WWE. And when Paul Heyman said in the promo a few weeks ago, he is going to be the main event of, and he listed about a bunch of WrestleManias. That's true. He is going to be the main event guy going forward. And I hope they're smart enough to bring in if the cousin turns out to be good, is Scotty's kid.
Yeah,
you could have a really cool thing where he mentors his younger cousin and his cousin turns, and we get a repeat we get a next gen Steiner Brothers feud. Let's go.
Yeah, he's a character that's really succeeded so far by a lot of his in-ring work, and he can cut a great promo. He really does cut a great promo. If you want him to be comical, he can be comical. If you want him to be serious, he can be serious. He can really lean into the whole background of the Steiner thing or not. He can be his own guy. And very recently, actually, on a podcast, it did come out because people said it's so unfortunate they don't let him use the Steiner name. It was his choice not to use it. He didn't want to be typecast into that category and just be known as that legacy. He wanted to create his own legacy, which he definitely is doing. Just like Brad creates a legacy every single week on the SmackDaddies with Father Greg, and you can always listen to him. Where can you go ahead and follow you, Brad?
You can find us on the interwebs. We are at smackdaddies.ca. We also have YouTube and Facebook, smackdaddies.ca, wherever you're looking for us. The biggest thing, though, is that Greg is going to be in a good mood this week because we have 2-hour SmackDowns returning this week. Greg will grade on a curve for a month, or until one thing pisses him off. One thing will piss him off, and then it's like a ticking time bomb. Greg's happy. Raw!
2 hours of SmackDown, Tiffy time. I don't see that man not smiling. He has to have a smile on his face, especially now that regular attire is back. We're not in Saudi Arabia anymore, so he's got to be smiling.
Well, and I have news for you. Did you hear that Tiffy and Ludwig have broken up? Tiffy is single and ready to mingle, Eric.
I heard. I think El Grande Americano has something to do with that. You never know. You never know.
Maybe she's cheating on Ludwig with El Grande Americano.
Oh, folks. Well, if you like the show this week, please give us a like and follow, subscribe on the YouTube page at STRAWS Raw. You can listen to all of our great shows that we have here on the Hub Sports Entertainment Network. Like I said, there's this show. There's also the SmackDaddies, and there's also the Dynamite Drop, and a bunch of other new things that are coming out, including we have opened up the archives of our interviews here in the network with our Back in Time new show. And yeah, keep watching because we got a few different things coming down the pipeline. But folks, like I said, thank you so much for listening to me and Brad this week as we talked about the wrestling, talked about the haps with the craps. So until the next time, please take care of yourselves and each other and continue to live your lives impactfully.
Hit the stop.
Deuces!